As you know, OTM fam, I have been dead set on a quest to just build as big of a personal brand as I can, not only for my own self-serving interest, but also because I know how much the community, the industry, the service industry community needs it, because a lot of people in this industry are just working so hard they don't have a chance to really leverage this amazing marketing technology. We now have the opportunity to speak to thousands and millions of people at one time, but yet all of us are just going to work, shaking hands, and really trying to build these relationships manually. But it's dope though, because not only am I getting a chance to build this personal brand, but I'm getting a chance to meet so many people I never would have had a chance to meet. And with that, I'm getting a lot of different requests and suggestions for advice for so many things that I'm not qualified to ask. A lot of people ask me what they should do about quitting their job, their GMs and owner situations, and a lot of different things. But I do have some requests for things that I do want to chime in on. And today, that is, how can I make my bar busier? How can I get more people inside my bar? And so this marketing for restaurants and bars is relatively new for me, because I really got my chance to get into this game, this content creation game and marketing, while working for a tech company in Miami. I don't know if you watched my previous videos, but I worked for a fintech media company where I was creating content talking about different investment grade products in Wall Street. And I saw how they were able to use content to build a community. And I knew that I could take that same exact process and bring it to the service industry. Now, I am a 14-year bartender, so I do have some experience in building communities on the ground. You know, I've opened up several bars, including the bar opened up in Miami, which is how I got there, where I had to go and help build a lot of the clientele that ended up repeatedly visiting that establishment. I also have helped build several workout communities, one of which ended up going from 4 guys to 70 people using content creation, traditional marketing techniques. I've helped build entrepreneurial masterminds where I would have 30 people show up, all trying to understand a specific thing when it comes to business development, which is a large reason why I'm inspired to talk about a lot of the things I do with OTM. And I mean, even when it came to partying, I was the one scheduling the party bus, 30 people trying to go to a festival and have to make sure I get everybody arranged to get back. It's just all of those things at my core. Those are things I like to do. And I definitely credit to me even getting to that space is from bartending. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and talk about what I'm up to right now. Ultimately is me working for some businesses and trying to help them drive additional traffic with events and personal brand and content creation. But also I want to talk about the things that have been helpful to me along in this process. So that way that you don't have to wait until I'm done building out this whole complete strategy before you start getting active right now. So initially OTM started because, like I said, I was out there in Miami. I was really developing my skill set in online marketing, community building, and Hector was out here in Houston already building out the earlier stages of OTM, where it really was just a party promotion machine. And I think Hector understood that as a popular bartender, it was becoming harder to keep bartending and entertaining his friends at the same time. So eventually he moved to the other side of the bar and started playing the role of host. But then when you start playing the role of host, that's basically the role of manager, just without the pay. So he was organizing these events, getting everybody to show up, everybody's making money, and it just really was no ROI from him. And then he just didn't see it being a scalable option. And same thing with me is, like, I knew that while I had bartending experience, I loved the in-person effect. I knew online exclusively was not the move. We needed to find a way to combine both of these. And so that's when we came up with the idea of the OTM network as you know it now. This is something that we knew could be profitable, scalable, and then also impactful to the community. And so the way we ended up understanding our goals is we knew we wanted to provide an area where we could provide mentorship to anybody who wanted to get in or move up in the industry. And in that, we knew that there are also going to be veterans, managers, and bar owners, small business owners, who also were going to need some assistance, people that we could help bring awareness and bring traffic to. And one of those people was our boy Blake, just became the GM of Unicorn Disco. He was our favorite bartender when we used to go out, and so we collaborated with him to throw our OTM launch party at this spot. And so that was our very first kind of new OTM event, where we spent a month long just marketing it, teaming up with a group called Serving the City. We also had a lot of people from Joey's pull up, and so we used all these different reasons to help drive awareness for this one event. And then on top of that, I think we ended up having a pregame at Space Cowboy too. But all in all, used know what I'm saying, our network, our marketing prowess to really bring all these people together on a slow ass Monday, and was able to generate almost 10K revenue out of nowhere. So we knew, like, okay, bam, we did it once. Now we need to do it over again and more repeatedly, because obviously no business is really going to just pay their bills off of one singular in the moment bucket event. So that's when we ended up coming back to Space Cowboy, connecting with our girl Krista, former bartender, now bar owner, who has her bar, which is situated inside a hotel. Hotels get a lot of traffic over the weekends, and she has a pool also. Great weekend spot, but in the middle of the week, completely dead. So we told her, like, yo, let's come in here on a Wednesday. Let us work here, create some content. Let's help drive some awareness. Let's start throwing some events, and let's see what we can do with it. Because if we can do this here, we can do this anywhere. And mind you, she's holding it down. She could have did this on her own, but she's at her bandwidth trying to organize these events over the weekend as well, because that's her main draw, is throwing these pop-up events even throughout the weekend. And so she's been doing a great job bringing in different bartenders, different guest bartenders. I think if you're a bar manager, always think about bringing in just guest shift bartenders, so that way you can capture some of their clientele. And then when you have a beautiful spot, just know those customers might come back, especially if you want to go out there and shake some hands. But after a while, I was in Miami when we made this decision. I came out to Houston, and then I knew that after I've been gone for 3 years, I was going to have to build up a whole new customer base, because after you've been gone from a city for 3 years, a lot of your regulars, they've sobered up, they stopped going out, they've gotten married, they've gotten pregnant, or they've moved cities. So it's kind of hard to get everybody back together again, because it's not only just bringing out one individual person, but it's bringing out clumps of people who all have relationships with each other. So I knew the fastest way to do that, instead of bartending for another 3 or 4 years to build his client base, was to create content, create entertaining content, create content that made people want to share it, made people want to save it, made people want to talk about it. And so when I started doing that, I started realizing a lot more people are in my DMs. When I'm going out, people are starting to come up to and talk to me like they know me, and I love that. And so that's how I knew that we needed to kind of build this company a lot faster. And that's when I realized, like, yo, other bars and bartenders can also do the same things, because if you have a certain target clientele that visits your bar, they are interested in certain things. You can create content around those certain things. Me, I knew I wanted to connect with the service industry specifically because of the OTM network, and that's why I created bartender content. But when I was working for the fintech industry, I was creating entrepreneurial content. So all in all, this is just the same science can be applied to anybody. But that's how I was able to start building up my initial clientele base, create entertaining content. All right, come see me, come hang out. Bam, create entertaining content, come see me, come hang out. And then from there, once people pulled up on you, now you can start directing traffic to go towards events. But we also ended up picking another spot called Reset. It's in the middle of Midtown, and if you're in Houston, you know Midtown is typically dead on Thursday. So they've started doing a ladies' night, super good drink specials. My boy Rashawn, good friend of mine, he's super creative when it comes to events. So we're going to be looking to help him build those things. So right tomorrow, he's doing Painted with a Twist. We got speed dating. It's just definitely always coming up with these creative ideas that are outside of just drink specials and food specials. I think people are kind of just played out on that. People want to come out for more than just getting drunk and getting fed. They want to come out and have a good time. They want to go out and recommend good ideas to their friends. They give people the power to pass along a good idea, and it makes them look more valuable to their friendship group. So by giving people this asset, you not only create additional sponsors for your brand, but you drive your revenue. But let me go ahead and talk about some of the things that's been helpful in helping to drive awareness to these events and drive awareness to the bars. Obviously, I already talked about constantly posting and engaging, but you need to be talking to different people in between when you need them to show up. Making sure that you're online, commenting and liking on those people's posts, showing up to their events. Community participation is the best way that you can start building your own community, by showing up in other people's community. Of course, performing individual outreach when it is time. You know, a lot of people, they want to just post a flyer and not reach out to anybody. Unfortunately, it's just too much distraction going on in this world. It's too much trying to rob everybody of their awareness and attention. You got to go out there individually, reach out to people that you know who would be interested in your event. And which means you need to have a clear target audience for your event. Tonight we're at Space Yoga. Tonight at Space Cowboy, we're throwing a yoga event. So I know if I'm throwing a yoga event, I'm not going to hit up the rapper homie that likes to buy Klaus Azul bottles. No, I'm going to hit up some girls that have been posting things about vegan-friendly foods, who are health conscious, people I see in the gym, things like that. Like, you really only need 20, 30 people to show up. So don't hit up 5,000 people, because you need to save these events for specific audiences, so that way when you reach out, it's a lot more of a warm intake. Having your partnerships in place before you start the marketing. So before I started advertising, obviously for yoga class, I need to go get a yoga teacher. And then from there, we also want to have vendors here who were in alignment with, we want it to be a Wellness Wednesday. So we have somebody who has special teas. We have somebody who's doing skin repair. You know, obviously this is going to be a female heavy event. So that's another vendor that can represent that. Got a girl that does her homemade jams. Another girl, she has a cookbook. But by us employing these additional vendors as well as a yoga instructor, we just added another 5 people to help us market. And so when it comes to that, you need to make sure you also are having content already, or the content assets already prepared for them to use as well, because these people are helping to bring business to your establishment. They're not going to make as much money as your establishment or yourself. So you need to make their job a whole lot easier in being a spokesperson for you. Let's see here. Connecting with other community builders. This is a super secret sauce right here. This is something that I am just ready to just really build out a strategy so everybody can start using it. I've already talked on how I met this one girl named Nicole of Houston Hottie Socials on TikTok. Her building her own networking group, her trying to throw in events, and I just see it in my space like, yo, she just needs spaces to bring these people. And they're not service industry friendly like us. They don't have just bar owners and bar managers everywhere. And you already know these places are going to just try to rip you off with a $10,000 minimum just to walk into their spot. And so with her, it's like, yo, there's a bunch of people like her who are just trying to get people together and they just need somewhere to go. So definitely connecting with the community builders can also lead to potential customers. And then even if you got to give them free stuff, that's when you start factoring in lifetime customer value. You give them, you know what I'm saying, $20 worth of product. Guess what? They'll come back next time and bring $100. And then also bring 2 more, 3 people. So definitely huge. Also, like I said before, go participate in their community. She threw her own networking event. I went there, pulled up, because not only do I want to support her, but I want to see what's going on. I mean, obviously they got some stuff cooking, but there's also other vendors and other relationships that I can build there as well. And then I ended up going to a kickboxing class with my boy Shaquem on the other side of town. As soon as I walk in there, everybody's greeting me. I'm getting everybody's Instagram name. So it's just like, you got to pull up on other communities and then connect with other community builders. They'll bring people to your stuff as well. Anytime you talk to somebody, obviously collect their contact information. If they express interest in an event, whether it's a little bit or a lot, get their contact information. Don't let them just wait for you to post a graphic. No, that way they can be part of your warm outreach. Now you're just not doing completely cold outreach. Now you have somebody hot. You let them know, like, hey, Lauren, I know you said you want to come to the yoga class. Just reminding you it's tonight. Make sure you bring them at. Highly increases your chance of showing up. Once they've shown up to 4 or 5 events, it's a whole lot easier to get it more automatic, and you can stop reaching out to them directly, and they start becoming an organic spokesperson for you. You need to have your next event planned while the current event is happening. So like today, we have this free yoga event, but guess what? Next week is an espresso martini cocktail making class. I'm going to get everybody, get them super excited about it, might make them a couple of espresso martinis, like, yo, we need to learn how to make this. Guess what? I'll be teaching it next week. So I'm already got my partners lined up. I'm actually shooting the content for that today. And so that way that my partners can have that content so that they can disseminate as well. So once again, I call this the event funnel. The best customer you have is a customer that's buying from you right now. So how can you increase their return visit? It costs nothing to market to them while they're here right now. Matter of fact, you're getting paid to market to them right now since they're here. And then of course, at the end of the event, sending out thank yous is so huge. Let them know that you really appreciate them coming. You can automate this, especially if you got their emails or text messages, but definitely send out individual thank yous to everybody. I love this. Another one, get video testimonials. Nobody's doing this right now. You can always make a collage of videos. Just people like, oh my God, I had such a good time. Thank you so much for inviting me. Having these videos, good. It helps instill FOMO once people start seeing the testimonials. And lastly, don't be scared to hire a videographer or photographer to capture your event. I know this seems like common sense, but this is huge, and they need to move fast because there is a relevant time frame from when this content needs to be put up. And so once you put this up, make sure you have everybody's tag information to tag them so that they can reshare it. Now everybody has turned into a billboard for you. And then once again, this institutes FOMO. When people are seeing high quality pics of these people coming out who never take pics, who can now post on their profile. Now it makes them look more valuable. Now it's an asset. Now they're more likely to come back. But now some things in my next stage that I'm going to start incorporating is I want to start doing some bartender competitions. Definitely. I think having competitions are a great way to drive revenue. People can pay to be in the competition. It opens up sponsor opportunities. Once again, each one of those people can be billboards, co-marketers for you. Right now, I've been using exclusively organic content to market for these events. I'm going to start moving more toward an ads model. I have a marketing agency that I work with. So if you guys are looking to run ads for your pop-up events, let me know. I can get you guys connected. We come up with a strategy. I think that if you can, with free events, I probably wouldn't use ads. But when it comes to a ticketed event, I think it's definitely a way to mathematically to justify your return and your spend on those things. And I've already learned that at this point, managers, they're at their bandwidth. So I know what I'm asking is a lot for a manager to do, which is why I'm talking to the bartenders, the lead bartenders. As a current bartender myself, I think there's a huge opportunity here for you guys to start increasing your revenue, your skill set, and your personal brand around these events right here. Now, if your bar doesn't want you to throw those events, well, I suggest you go find a bar that will let you throw them. Because if you walk into any bar and it's their slowest day and you're like, yo, man, I love to help you guys drive revenue here. You guys don't even have to pay me. I'll just bartend the event and I'll just get paid based on the tips that get here. And if you start showing that brings value to the business, then you can start negotiating, you know what I'm saying, a certain percentage of the alcohol sales as well as your bartending tips. And then eventually it can get so successful that you can move from behind the bar and become the host of the event. So that's a great way for you to start finding a new niche within this industry that nobody is talking about right now. Let's see here. So, action items. First, you need to like this video. I need that. Let me know that you saw this video. Your first step is going to be finding and connecting with the customers. Like I said, going out to different events, creating content. Be like me. I'll double down. I'll do both so that way I can move twice as fast. Let's see. Figure out those customers that you meet. Figure out what they like to do. Figure out where they like to hang out. And then build an event around that. Okay? Build an event around what they like to do, and they'll show up. Don't just put $5 JMOs, $2 wings, and just expect you to show up. It's like, no, man. Right now, people love espresso martinis. Come learn how to do one. Instead of paying $20 and go to a restaurant, how about you learn how to make one at home for your own pre-game? You can save money when you go out. Who doesn't show up for that? And then after that, you start marketing the event, execute the event, do all the things I told you at that event. Get the contact information, get the testimonials, get the thank yous, and then after that, you just rinse and repeat the process over and over and over again, man. So, bar managers, I can help you guys out. Hit me up. Bartenders, I can help you guys out. Hit me up. My DMs are open, and make sure you guys are coming to OTM events. If you guys have your own events, please feel free to post it in the network. We have an events area where you can put your graphics right there, talk about it. Make sure you tag Joe and OTM on Instagram. We can repost. This is the best way. This is how I participate in communities, by sharing the exposure that I'm able to start generating. So you got to get active. You got to start making moves. That's the only way that you can expect foot traffic to come into your bar. Because I tell you what, they're not coming in on their own. You got to go out there and get them. Signing out.